Hey guys, welcome to our channel. I am Chantal with Growing Up Without Borders, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to drive this beautiful Tesla. When we were first coming to Montreal, we looked up different companies that we can rent Teslas from, and we found this one called Robile, which is absolutely amazing. They have a full range of different cars that you can rent. Their website is super easy to use and book and reserve, and they will meet you at the airport once you arrive. So it's really convenient, or you can meet them at their location. As we were getting the Tesla, I thought, oh my gosh, what if it's different than any other car? And sure enough, it is. And so this is why I'm going to show you guys how to function and drive an actual Tesla, because it's different than all the other cars. And I couldn't really find anything online. So hopefully this video tutorial will help you as well. And plus, if you like to travel, make sure you look at all our other videos, because we are technically a traveling family on a mission to visit every country in the world. So the first thing is, that's your key. Once the door opens, you press this, and that opens it. So you take your key. Here comes, hi, are you gonna come help us explain how to use a Tesla?
Yes.
First of all, look at how spacious this car is. Look at the roof, it's beautiful. So that's your key. This key starts your car. So you press the brake, you put your Tesla there, and voila, everything starts. So Angelique, explain to us a little bit of the buttons, first of all, what you see.
So first of all, you see your car there, and with this screen you can open your trunks.
Try it.
So for example, if you push Frunk, it'll open the front trunk, and if you open the back,
isn't it hilarious
it'll
that it's
open
called...
the back trunk. Ta-da!
Do you think it's funny that they call it a Frunk?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so the funniest thing just happened. We went to a bulk barn and we had all these bags of dried baking supplies. So I go to put them all in the frunk, and this guy parked beside us. He's like looking at me dumbfounded. He comes out of the car and comes to the front. He goes, "I thought you were putting baking supplies into your engine." And then he looks down again. He's like, "Where is the engine?" Then he's starting to look towards the trunk. He's like, "Is it in the trunk?" And I'm like, "No, there is no engine." He goes, "How does the car run then?" And I'm like, "It runs on electricity." And then he looks at me, he's like, "Are you old enough to drive?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just don't have a driver's license, so it's my mom driving." He goes, "Oh, I thought so." It was so ridiculous.
That's hilarious. She came in and told me, and imagine a guy just sitting there and then sees this young kid putting the materials into the front, and he thinks there's an engine there. He probably thought you were loopy. He's probably like, what is wrong with that child? So he came out of the car to see.
Let's close it because it's a bit chilly.
All automated.
And then you can lock your doors and unlock.
This is to do your charging station. Very convenient. Tells you how much you have on your battery. It tells you where your charge ports are and everything. Let's turn that off. We're in Canada right now. Let's say you want to go to Montreal. So you type into your navigation, Montreal. Let's go Montreal, Quebec. What it's going to do is it's going to tell you exactly where you need to go and charge your Supercharger. So here it says that in Cornwall there's a Supercharger that you can go to. This is how you get out. So there's no controls. The only controls you have is one here, which I'll explain, and then everything else happens on this display. So to get out, you just press this little button, boom, and it opens the door. This is really cool because this here is an actual phone charger. So you just set your phone down there, it starts charging it. Settings, so your pedals can actually accelerate with chill or standard. You can do your steering mode to be more sporty or more relaxed or whatever. And then your stopping mode even changes. So you can play around with all these different things. This is your charging, so it always indicates how much longer you have, so you know when you need to charge it up. Autopilot. This is so cool. What is it like when you're on autopilot, Angelique?
When you're on autopilot, you just push the handle, one of the side buttons down, and then it'll just start driving, and then it follows the street.
Okay, so let me describe to you what it's like to put it on the automated, fully autopilot. So when you go here on your autopilot, you can select current speed or your speed limit. So I have on current speed. I'm currently already on like cruise control. So the reason I got on cruise control is because I went on autopilot. So to go on autopilot, you press twice down like this. Then you'll notice two blue lines, and it says to keep your hands on the wheels. So as you'll notice, like now, I'm fully on automated mode. So I'm not touching a single thing. Crazy, right? But you have to have your hands still free. it senses everything, and it has cameras all around. And every once in a while, something will pop up here, and it'll say, just give a slight little, nudge so that you know that you're still driving. Now, if I was to go in the other lane and I put the indicator on, you have the mirror or the camera that shows you your blind spot. So you actually don't really need to do a shoulder check, which is crazy. But it doesn't bring you over. So when you go over, you actually have to get off your autopilot. But what happens is when you're off your autopilot, it keeps that same speed. So you're not removing the cruise control. And then, of course, to take off cruise control, you have to brake. Yeah, so it recognizes everything around you, like the trucks that are appearing. And if what's really cool is the other day we were going by a lake, and it showed a boat on the lake. So let's say there was a boat going along here. This is called the Thousand Islands that we're going through too. It's pretty cool. But it showed a boat literally going around. Okay, so now I'm approaching the truck, and you'll notice my speed's going to start to go down because it's recognizing that there's something in front of me. So you go to the left, and then it actually goes out of autopilot mode to cross, but it's going to right away pick up my speed because it keeps the cruise control on. Overall, it's an amazing car. We love it. I still don't use the mirrors. When I'm backing up, I'm still using I still use the mirrors. So I don't use the video cameras everywhere because I still kind of cross-check. But you really don't need to in this car. They've really thought of everything. Which makes me wonder, do you become not a dumb driver, but do you become a driver who doesn't really know, how to drive? If you drive only Tesla, can you go back to the other cars? That's a good question. One thing I'll point out is that when your battery tells you how many kilometers you have to go. So for example, right now I'm at 355k that I can go. And the distance to get to where we're going is 237. So if you're driving a consistent speed and you're not going overly fast or anything like that, you can pretty much go with what the car says it'll go. But if you're going faster or maybe just going over the speed limit and such, it's going to reduce your battery time. And so it kind of adjusts as you go along. And you can see that right now it'll tell me that I'm going to get there in 2 hours and 35 minutes because we're going all the way to Montreal. By the way, we're switching cars today. So we're going to have a brand new Tesla to show you. For those of you who don't know your geography, this is Canada, this is the United States, right here. So it's divided by this tiny little piece of land and waterway. This is so cool. I'm not driving the car. It literally came to a stop. It came to a stop all by itself, and it's still driving. It's doing its own thing. That's pretty amazing. I know I'm still on autopilot based on these blue lines here, and boom, it stops me. See how quiet the car is? It's it's so peaceful. It's amazing. So I don't know, we're at 112 kilometers. We've got 41 kilometers to go, so it did not so bad. I was up and down on the speed the whole way, so I was kind of going a little bit faster sometimes, a little bit slower sometimes, so, and on and off with autopilot. So question is does autopilot eat up more battery? Possibly, but it seems to be okay. Now the Robile, who we rented the car from, said not to go below 100k so battery, so we're going to be under, but they have the charging stations right there, so we'll be good to go. See, it started on its own. Still got my hand close to the steering wheel in case I need to hold on a little bit, but it's just doing its own thing. So in here
you have dash cam, which is a camera that actually records, so you can see all previous recordings.
You can download it as well if you want, which is kind of cool.
It's probably used to, if somebody crashes you so that you have proof.
Yeah.
Energy shows you how much energy you've used so far. You have phone, calendar, messages. You have something called theater, and on theater you have Netflix, Disney, YouTube, tutorials on how to drive the car, because that's very important. You have arcade, where you have many games. You have some chess. You have Stardew Valley, asteroids, all sorts of different ones. And you've got something called Toy Box. And this is where the fun happens. You can go here and you can basically customize the color of your car to any color you'd like. So we have this light show. We have something called boombox, so we can play the current media. So if we're playing songs on streaming, we can push play current media and the whole car will become a boombox.
I'm Braden. Well, thank you so much to Braden and Angelique. Bravo. Bravo. That was just wonderful.
Or we
So you can
can
have a party in your
change
car.
the horn sound to all different types of horns, which is quite funny because that means when you honk your horn, it'll change. You can do something called emissions, where you fart in different seats, which is really funny, and then they have
They even have the different types. Oh my.
yeah, and then you can push fart on turn signals every time you turn.
They have
We have
romance.
tracks where you can record tracks. Romance, where when you push, all the heaters will start blowing out hot air. There's a fireplace.
Oh.
And then you click it again. Funny. You can play funny music. You have a sketch pad where you can sketch different things. You have Mars, which will turn your main camera into Mars. So if I turn that on, we're now in Mars.
That's crazy. And then they have Santa, so you can jingle all the way. So much fun.
And then on Santa mode, every single traffic cone becomes a reindeer.
So they have all these different things. The other thing that's really cool is here you can do Bluetooth, radio. You have all the different radio stations, Spotify, if you want to do Spotify. You can even play karaoke. Sweet Caroline. So like you just click on one and then boom, it comes up. Of course you can take the voice
Singer.
on or off.
Then we got browsers, so we can search things if you want to search things.
Yeah,
like
so you can go
questions.
online. There's internet with the car.
Yep.
Pretty cool. So on the heat, it's really cool. So you can turn it to auto. You can turn the heaters on or off by clicking like this and then adjust how much heat you want on each one. So that's really nice.
And then when you go to the front, you can adjust where the wind is going to blow. So you can say you want it down to the center, and this one you want it right there. And then there's this. You can have schedule, so you can schedule how long you want it to go off. And for example, if you have a dog in the car, it'll make it so that your dog stays perfect temperature in the car. Or they have camp mode. So if you sleep in the car, you will
You
not
won't
die.
freeze your butt off. Nice if you're just sitting there charging. And by the way, when you go to these supercharging stations, it gets the charger ready for you before you arrive. And it only takes like 20-30 minutes for pretty much a full charge if you're like very, very low. So pretty impressive how fast it goes. And then it even tells you how much. You want to be careful though when you go to these charging stations, because if you stay over your time limit, for each minute that you stay over, it's $1. So if you want to control your mirrors, here's where you go. You just click on your mirrors, your left, your right, and this is where everything gets adjusted. So you just go up or down or back or forth to adjust where you want your mirrors to be. Thank you for joining us as we explored all the ins and outs of driving a Tesla for the very first time. I hope you found the video informative and inspiring, and don't forget, if you're in Montreal and you're looking for an experience and a thrill of driving a Tesla firsthand, I highly recommend heading over to Robile.com because they are your premier destination for Tesla car rentals in Montreal. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!